Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Valerie. In this channel we talk about my immigration experience, the things I have observed and learned in the US, and many more. If that is something that you are interested in, don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Today we are going to talk about how I got my driver's license here in the US. So as most of you know, I live in North Carolina, and of course in every state they have different policies and rules and all that things if you're trying to apply for a driver's license. So before I jump into requirements and all that, just a little bit of background. So I came here in the US September of 2020, so it's during COVID. And so it's a little bit different from your just regular your regular application pre-COVID or post-COVID. So it might be a little bit different. When I came here in 2020, I waited for my green card to arrive before I can really get a permit to drive, because I have to have a card or a green card in order to apply. So I waited for my green card. I think it's 2 or 3 months from when I arrived here in the US. Then they finally mailed it to me. I think my social security card was the first one that they mailed, and followed by the green card. So then my husband and I started to process my driver's license permit. So I'm going to give you guys the requirements needed. This is for North Carolina. So if you lived in North Carolina, if you're coming from the Philippines or from other countries to North Carolina, then it's probably going to be the same process. But if you're living in the other states, it might be a little bit different. But they also have their own website for North Carolina. It's Division of Motor Vehicles, or DMV. So I'm gonna explain to you how to start applying for a driver's license if you're over 18 years old here in North Carolina. The first step that you need to do is to make an appointment. You want to make sure that you have set an appointment for this. I think some places might take you in for a walk-in, but it's probably longer wait time than making an appointment ahead of time. I'm gonna put the link for the North Carolina website where you can set an appointment for your driver's license permit or renewal or anything like that. So as we were talking about, it's gonna be for 18 years and over. So you have to be at least 18 years old, and you have to apply in person. If this is your first time applying for a driver's license, you have to be there physically. You have to bring one document verifying your age and your identity. So for my case, I brought my green card. I also brought my social security card and my passport with my visa attached to it. Just a backup in case they don't take my green card, but they will take your green card as long as it's not expired. So the North Carolina Division of Motor Vehicles administers several tests when an individual applies for a license or a learner's permit, and in some cases if they are renewing their license too. So now you have yourself, so you bring yourself to the appointment, bring an ID, and then make sure that you're prepared for the test, because when you are applying for a permit, you have to take a test and you have to pass the test in order for you to get your permit. So you can go online, or I think in North Carolina, at DMV, they have tests that you can pull up so you can practice. But I just pulled up some videos through YouTube, so that's how I learned mine. So there are different categories under the test that you're gonna be taking. So I have a table here. This is from North Carolina DMV website. I can also put a link on the description below if you want to check it out. So for the test, there's a written knowledge test. The things that it's going to be covering is traffic laws and safe driving practice. Test is offered in different languages. So if you are not confident that you can understand the written test, you can always ask to have it translated to, let's say, Tagalog or Spanish or whatever language. So don't hesitate to ask them. And then, oh, there's also an oral test available upon request if you'd rather do that. And in this table that I got from DMV, they have links to like a sample test questions and like a handbook that you can download and read through. Next one is the traffic signs. So it covers regulatory and warning signs. Applicants identify signs by colors, shape, and provides an explanation of each. So they also have a link on that one on the website that you can click so you can review those. So written knowledge, traffic signs, and then vision. So for vision, applicant must meet vision standards for driving in North Carolina. License will indicate if corrective lenses are required. Corrective lenses must be worn at all times while driving. So if you have eyeglasses, if you are contact lenses, then you have to make sure that you wear that when you're driving. Penalty for driving without proper corrective lenses is the same as driving without license. So yeah, it's pretty serious. So make sure that you follow the rules, the law, by wearing your eyeglasses or your contact lenses when you're driving. Fortunately, I don't have one, so I don't have to worry about that. And then next is driving skills. So for this one, assesses applicants' driving skills and ability to perform basic driving patterns. Skills includes approaching intersections, stop signs, and traffic signals. So you have to make sure that you know how to read those signs. If it says stop, a red sign that says stop, then what are you going to do? If you are in intersections, if it's an always stop, what are you going to do? Who's going to go first? So those kind of things. So you have to make sure that you understand it because it's definitely going to be in your test. Quick stops, backing, stopping, starting and parking, turn signals, and using the horn when to. I know in the Philippines we hear the horns all day long. It's just a normal thing that we do. It's regular. Like most of the times we do that because the jeepneys, they do that to get attention if for jeepneys passenger, the bus. So if you're here in the US, that's a no-no. You don't honk whenever you just feel like you want to honk, right? So that's why. That's a funny story. That's why my husband, when he went to the Philippines, he was so surprised how noisy it is. Everybody using their horns. And when I got here, I was also surprised. I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. So nobody's using their horns unless you really have to. So like, let's say somebody like cut in front of you. So you want to honk your horn to let them know, hey, you're not supposed to do that. But most of the times people don't honk their horns unless it's really important. Turning, use of lanes, how to use your lane. Traffic signals, it's the same way as in the Philippines. Stop is red, green is go. Yellow signal, it basically warns you that the red light is coming up. So backing, some of the cars, or I think most of the cars now, they have a back camera, so it really help you a lot when you're trying to back up your car. But if you have an older car, then it's not available on your car, so you have to make sure that you look behind you. You can't just look at your mirror. You have to make sure that you also look behind you on the back window to see if there's somebody walking by or something like that. So uses of lanes. So here in the US, if you are driving in the highway, let's say, for example, most of the times there's two lanes, and the one to the right is a slow cars. So if you are just following, let's say it's 55 miles per hour speed, then you would want to stay there if you're 55 miles. So the left the left lane is the one that's called, it's a passing lane. So those are the people that wants to pass you. Usually it's if you're over 5 miles per hour over the speed limit, usually you're still safe as long as you don't go over that. So you would want to make sure that if you're going slower than the speed limit, if that makes you comfortable driving slow, then make sure that you are sitting in the right lane and not the left, because those other cars are probably going faster than you are and they want to pass you. Next is yielding right of way for pedestrians. So if you are in a town, in a city or something like that, and you see that there's a crosswalk and people are right there, let's say there's no traffic lights, so you want to make sure to stop because they have the right of way. If they're right there in the pedestrian lane and they want to cross, they always have the right of way, so you make sure that you stop. If there are traffic lights, usually those people, they will click the button, or they will push the button on the usually there's a post right next to the traffic light, so they will push that button, and then it will send a message to the lights that there's somebody that wants to cross, and so that gives them the time to cross. But if it doesn't have a traffic light, pedestrian always have the right of way. So those are the tests that you're gonna be taking, so make sure that you study. I set an appointment about a month and a half far out, and then that month and a half I just studied and make sure that I understand things. So for my case, we went to the DMV here in North Carolina. There's one around the area, but they're very busy. There's always a line of people. You can't even get an appointment date. The closest they have is like 3 months or something like that. So we went to a different driver's license office. So we were able to get the appointment at that place. I went with my husband. When I got there, they asked me to sit down and they asked me for my ID. So I provided them my green card and my social security. I also have my passport as a backup in case they need it, but they just needed my green card. And then after that, they asked me for my address. And then they start putting all my information in the computer. You don't even have to fill out a form in the like a physical copy form. They just fill it out for you in the computer, and then they will take a photo of you, and then after that they're gonna turn the computer towards you and they're gonna ask you to make sure that everything that they typed in there is correct. If there is anything wrong, let them know so they can change that. And also you have to sign that, and that signature will go on your license or your permit. And after that, you're gonna have to pay a fee. I believe it's like $12 or something like that when I got my permit. So you pay that fee, and then after that they will inform you when you can get your permit, that it will be mailed to you, and I think it's 20 business days, up to 20 business days. So then after that, I was able to get my permit. I received my permit through mail, and then I started practicing. I started practicing with a smaller vehicle, and then after that, since I started working, I practiced with a truck, with a F-150 truck. So after that, maybe after, was it like, I'm not sure, maybe like between 3 to 6 months, I forgot, but between 3 to 6 months, I finally finished my hours. I think more than my hours. For a learner permit, you have to have somebody with you. So when I was practicing how to drive, my husband is in the passenger seat. So since it's COVID, so they didn't have to do that. I think it's 60 hours, 10 hours for nighttime, driving nighttime. So every day, since I was driving to work every day with my husband in a truck, and so that is really my hours going back and forth. And after that, I think usually you have to, after you're done with your driving lessons, right, and you're ready, and you're ready to go and get your driving test. So you have to have a driving test. But since it was COVID, they waived that out. So there's no driving test for me. So if it was just a regular driver's license, I think pre-COVID and post-COVID, probably by now it's probably back to normal. So probably have to do driving tests where you have to show an instructor how to maybe parallel park, or how to just, I think usually they will bring you, or they will tell you to go to this place, and then you kind of just like drive them around, and of course they take down notes if there's something that that is wrong, that you didn't do, that is incorrect and all that. But fortunately for me, I didn't have to do that. So, and then finally I set an appointment again to get my driver's license this time. So when we got there, we handed the document, or the documentation, that I got 60 hours of practice driving. And then after that, they update their computer, they took a picture of me again, and then they asked me to sign, and I paid another fee. I forgot how much it is. I think it's less than $20 for sure. And then after that, they told me that after that, they gave me a paper copy of my license, which is usually valid for like, I think it's like 3 or 6 months. And then while waiting for your hard copy, or while waiting for your real driver's license to come, so you can use that paper copy of the license before the original copy comes in. So after that, I got my driver's license, but since my green card expired in 2 years from when I arrived in the US, they can only put an expiration up until whenever your green card expires. So my green card expires in September of 2022. So that's my driver's license expiration. And after that, it extended when I applied for my removal of condition, and then it extended about, like, I think 2 years. So that's how I learned. That's pretty much it. It's I think it's pretty straightforward. It might have been a little bit difficult, I would say, I guess, if it was not with COVID for me, since I have to go in and do a driving test. So that's how I got my driver's license here in the US. And if you guys have any questions in any part of this video, anything related to driver's license, I'll try my best to answer them. I'll put the link of the YouTube videos that I also watch for the test, for the permit test, on the description below. And if you guys have anything in mind that you want me to talk about in my next videos, you can go ahead and comment it down below. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.